Hi friends, welcome back to Alpha Physio Pelvic Care, all things pelvic health. My name is Anastasia Varva. I'm practicing registered pelvic floor physiotherapist in Cyprus and also I work online. Today I would like to talk about a topic that has been brought up actually by my client. And the question she asked is, I'm doing my pelvic floor exercises, I'm doing them regularly, and actually I feel pain after the exercises and I feel more heavy. Why is that? Before we begin, as always, as per tradition, I would really appreciate if you're watching my videos, if you've been hanging around this channel quite for a while, I would really appreciate if you press that subscribe button, follow me, and also don't forget to drop like on this video if you find it useful. And now let's get back to the topic. I would like to highlight 3 reasons why pelvic floor exercises, the traditional pelvic floor exercises, can cause pain. And this is not for the specific client necessary. I haven't seen her yet after we talked, so she will come back to me. But it's generally why this might be happening. So number 1, you actually have tight pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor muscles are tight, and you, by trying to do the Kegels without relaxation techniques, are making them even tighter, and they're just getting fatigued. The fascia around the area is getting tight. All the nerves that are around the area getting even more compressed. They're sending signals to your brain and you feel pain. So imagine if this is your pelvic floor and it's already tight. Instead of just when it's in a relaxed state, you contract it, you do your exercise, you relax, you contract, you relax. You're in this tight position and then you're tightening up even more. You cannot, or you just don't relax. You're not sure how, you're not sure if you're doing it, but let's assume you don't. And I have seen it a lot in my practice. When I ask people to contract, they do, and then they stay in that contracted space for quite a while. They can't actually actively relax. So you keep contracting, 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 you get that muscle fatigue and you have that pain. Therefore, it's quite important to establish why in the beginning you had pain, if you had pain before, and if you do have pain after you started to do your pelvic exercises, pelvic floor exercises, do please review them. Review them with a professional, see what's happening, because pelvic floor exercises should not hurt. If they hurt, you're either doing them incorrectly, you're either doing them too much or too soon. And this takes us to our point number 2. Number 2 is doing too much too soon. In NHS guides and in most of the guides, they suggest about 8 contractions, 3 sets a day, which in my practice, it's a bit too little. But pelvic floor muscles, they're not huge, massive muscles. They're not even like big like your quads or big like your glutes. They are muscles that have a really good fatigue resistance. They're designed to have that working all the time under the fatigue, because we're upright, we're walking, they're supporting our organs. But if you do 10-15 minutes of pelvic floor exercises a day, correctly, properly, with breathing, that is plenty. You do not need to pump your pelvic floor muscles for 1 hour, for 2 hours. You do not need to do hundreds of Kegels a day. I do see the suggestion on the internet, like you need to do at least 100 Kegels a day in order to get yourself back in shape. No. Quality works better with the pelvic floor than quantity. And I'd rather somebody does those 8 contractions 3 times a day with the proper alignment, with the proper breathing, proper engagement, and the mindset, than just contracting randomly whenever they can, however they can, 100 times. This will cause muscles to fatigue. If you do your let's say post-pregnancy recovery Pilates, and a session is half an hour, it's 1 hour, it's also fine, because you're not sitting there doing only pelvic floor exercises. You will be doing also other things. You will be stretching a bit, you will be doing a bit of arms and so on. So there will be a break for your pelvic floor. But if you do only those pelvic floor exercises for an hour a day, it's very likely that it might cause some heaviness and pain around the pelvic floor. It may not, maybe you have really strong pelvic floor. But if you do that much and it causes, I would question the amount. The thing is doing them too soon. General suggestion is do start some pelvic floor, gentle pelvic floor engagement straight after birth or straight after cesarean section birth, either vaginal or cesarean. But it has to be something very mild and very small portions. So even if you do it from the day 1, day 2, we're talking about 3-5 contractions, 3-5 times a day. Very, very tiny portions. We don't want to overload these muscles. They already underwent through a lot of stress whilst, going through the birth process. Or maybe you had a gynecological operation. If you had gynecological operation, doctors will definitely tell you 6 weeks rest, pelvic rest, no movement whatsoever. And if you go on starting your exercises too early, this again can cause fatigue and pain. Number 3, why you might have pain is there is actually a legitimate nervous injury. It can be epidendal neuralgia, it can be the nerve pain around the pelvic floor, especially if you did have injury, or maybe it has developed over the time due to tight pelvic floor, secondary epidendal neuralgia. It can be also coming from your back, so there is actually neural pain and this nerve is getting irritated. It can be other pelvic floor conditions. It can be complex pelvic pain syndrome. It's a very much umbrella term. It can be related to hormonal levels. Sometimes I can see it in men. It can be related to your activity. So you actually have condition that cause you some pelvic pain, and because people, they don't know better, they believe, okay, they said do some Kegel exercises, they will help you, and they start doing Kegel exercises and they make things worse. They irritate the nerve so much, the whole nervous system so much, that they are even more pain. Therefore, if you do have this pelvic pain, if you have pelvic pain after going to the toilet, or before going to the toilet, or during sex, or after orgasm, or during orgasm, or whenever you sit, or there is just happening pelvic pain, I would highly recommend you to get a proper diagnosis first and decide the best strategy, because quite often with these conditions we want to relax the pelvic floor, we want to wind down the nervous system, we want to focus on our breathing, we want to focus on other movements around the pelvis, and then we reintroduce Kegel and pelvic floor exercise. And this is the probably point number 4. I promised 3, so let's call it a bonus. It can be that your technique is not correct, and instead of contracting, you are bearing down. Especially this might cause the symptoms if you do suffer from pelvic organ prolapse, so your organs are lowered down. And when you do your pelvic floor exercises and you're actually bearing down and you're kind of pushing down the organs, and when you get up, instead of being lifted, they're even lower, and they create more of that dragging, heavy feeling, and therefore that can be actually quite painful. It can create a sensation of pain as well. So making sure that you're doing your pelvic floor exercises correctly is quite important, and usually it can be done only in present of checked by pelvic floor physiotherapist or gynecologist. I do give specific self-check techniques for the people if I see them online. If it's not possible for them completely to come and visit me, it's not possible for them to visit pelvic floor physiotherapist, there are ways I can make them to check themselves to make sure they're doing pelvic floor exercises correctly. But as I said, this is in extreme cases where there's absolutely no chance for them to come to me or any other pelvic floor physiotherapist or even gynecologist to check the correctness of the exercise. I hope, guys, I shed some light on why you might be experiencing pelvic pain during or after pelvic floor exercises, and I hope you will find the solution soon. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to comment. Also, I have a link to my website, to my social media in the description below. You can check it out. You can contact me through my social media, or if you need an assessment, an online consultation, I do them as well. You can complete the preliminary assessment form and I will get back in touch with you. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Thank you so much for your likes, for your subscriptions, and we will see you back very, very soon. Bye.